Welcome to the Realty Rundown, the podcast that cuts through the noise of the real estate world. Your hosts, seasoned industry experts Nick and Nate, are here to guide you through the entire process. Each week, they're breaking down the latest market trends, decoding complex jargon, and sharing insider secrets you won't find anywhere else. Whether you're buying your first home, selling a property, or building an investment portfolio, we provide the clear, actionable advice you need to make your next move your best move.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the Realty Rundown from the Nic Wyse team at Remax Results. I'm Nic Wyse, and I'm flying solo this morning. I know, boo, no Nathan. Guys, we're going to keep this one practical and timely. So first off, I'm going to give you a quick snapshot of where the housing market is right now because we're seeing some change. Then we're going to pivot hard into something every homeowner in Indiana should care about this time of year: how to weatherproof your house and avoid cold weather disasters. So starting off, all right, the market. Lowering mortgage rates. We love it. We love to hear those words. Well, they're helping to push home sales to, guess this, the highest level that we have seen in 3 years. Yay. Cheering music. No more boos. Here's the key takeaway, guys. Even when rates ease a little bit, buyers respond very quickly. So what we have seen now with this lowering of rates is pent-up demand coming off the sidelines. These buyers who were paused in 2023 and 2024, they are now re-engaging. So we're seeing more showing activity. We're seeing more accepted offers. It's not exactly a feeding frenzy at this point, but it basically means that the market is getting back to functional and staying more in that seller's market zone. We were starting to get to about 60 days on market, which is a real balanced market. We're seeing that now trend back down a little bit. So it again has kind of maintained a seller's market, was getting almost neutral, and now it's moving back to that seller's market a little bit where buyers are having to compete for the homes that are available. So buyers that can qualify, sellers being realistic, transactions are happening at a higher rate than they have in 3 years. So that also leads us to our main topic of today, because when more homes are selling, condition matters more than ever, especially in winter. So why cold weather is a real risk for homes. Winter doesn't just stress people out, and believe me, my wife will tell you, yesterday I was stressed out. It stresses out houses too, guys. You're going to get, well, you're not going to get, because we're going to help you, but you could get frozen pipes, ice dams, furnace failures, water damage. These are some of the more common and expensive issues that inspectors and insurance companies see on the rise during these cold snaps. So the frustrating part is most of these problems, like I mentioned, are preventable. It just takes a little preparation. So how do we prevent frozen pipes? That's kind of the biggie. That's the one that I see the most. Frozen pipes, this can turn into a nightmare quickly. And homeowners, here's what you can be doing. So know where your pipes are exposed. Go down in the basement, go in the crawl space if you have to, in the garage. Don't forget the garage. And then in exterior walls. Insulate those areas if they're vulnerable. You should always, and you should have done this months ago, make sure you've got your drain, exterior hoses, all those things disconnected. If it's outside, disconnect it. Make sure you've got your shutoffs on and winterized those outdoor spigots. Again, these are things that you got to be doing ahead of time, but especially if you haven't done them, oh my goodness, please go do them right now. During extreme cold, you can even let your faucets drip a little bit. That keeps the water inside there moving just enough, just a little movement. That's not going to freeze inside those pipes. There's going to be a little flow. And then keep your cabinet doors under your sinks open. Why? Because obviously that lets more heat get access to those under cabinet plumbing lines. And then just maintain consistent indoor heat. Even if you're traveling, don't be like, oh, we'll just turn it down to 40. Don't do that. Make sure you maintain some heat in the home, especially at these times. So, because literally one frozen pipe can turn into tens of thousands of dollars in damage. And this is just not a place to gamble. Also, ice dams, gutters, and roof issues. These are another kind of silent problem, and it happens when warm air escapes into the attic, snow melts on the roof, and then it refreezes right at the edge. It's basically backed up water. It's going to have nowhere to go, and it's going to seep down into your house. So a properly installed roof will have some damming measures of its own to prevent this from happening. But if you own an older home, or you didn't install your roof and you're not sure who did or how, this is something to be aware of. So prevention. Make sure you've got proper attic insulation. You can have an insulation company come out, check it, see what the R value is. That's your resistance to heat loss. And then seal attic access points. That's another big one. Drafty in the attic, that means there's some wind coming through that you probably don't want in the attic. And then just make sure you're cleaning your gutters before the winter. Always, again, this one's too late. If you didn't do it, you could have a bunch of gunk in there. That gunk can also freeze. It can also create loss of the ability for that water and that ice to drain. And then make sure bathroom and kitchen vents exhaust outside, not in the attic. I see this all the time, and people are like, why is that a big deal? It's just going into the attic. Well, because it can create this issue. Again, those vents are going to vent heat up into that attic. They're going to melt that snow that's on the roof that should just be sitting there for right now, and they're going to push it down and create these ice dams. So if you see icicles forming like a huge frozen waterfall, that's a warning sign. It might look pretty, but it's not a decoration. Be aware of what you've got there. Heating systems and power loss preparation. Preparation is key. That's what we're talking about with all this. So with heating systems, you should make sure that you're servicing your furnace annually, every year. I would highly recommend finding a reputable local company. I'd be happy to refer you to somebody. Just get on their maintenance plan. That way, every winter before it gets cold, you're having that furnace serviced. And in the spring, when it starts to warm up again, they're going to service your central air as well. It's worth doing. It's also a great way to avoid house fires. Another very expensive and terrifying possibility if you don't clean your furnace annually. Make sure you replace your filters, guys. I can't even tell you how gross it is if you don't, but make sure you're just replacing your filters. Depends what size they are, what kind of filters they are. Some need to be replaced every 30 days. Others can go months, but it depends what your filter is. Know your filter. Do a little research. Don't always just buy the cheapest filter and be like, oh, it's fine. It'll be in there forever. I pull some of these things out sometimes, and they're gross, guys. That means it's not doing its job, and it's also clogged. Not good for your system. Know where your main water shutoff is. This is key as well. I'm always surprised by people that don't know this. If you've got some kind of a leak, you need to shut off your water. We're to that step now. You've got to get it shut off. Know where that main shutoff is. And then just have a basic plan if your power goes out. So if you've got some space heaters that you can use safely, some of these things have batteries, and they're for emergency use. It's always good to have some of those around. Have a backup heat source. For us, we've got a couple of wood burning fireplaces. They do throw out a decent amount of heat if we can get them going pretty good. We've got Yodel stove varieties, but there's different things you can do to have some backup heat. And then when all else fails, know where you're going to go if you can't stay warm, or if you've got flooding in the house, or if you've got serious issues. Just have a plan. Prepared beats panicked every single time. Guys, so here's the thing. Winter home disasters, they always happen at the worst possible time. It's never at Tuesday on at 2 o'clock, so you can call the maintenance guy right away. They all seem to be discovered at 3 a.m. during a holiday weekend when it's 10 below freezing, and suddenly your basement is auditioning to be an indoor pool. Not good, guys. A little prep now saves a lot of stress later. So here's your bottom line. Again, the housing market showing real signs of life. Yay. We love it. That's good news. But the winter is not the season to ignore maintenance. This is the time to really kick it in, be that awesome A-plus homeowner that you know you are. So whether you're staying put, planning to sell, or you just bought a home, protect the pipes, protect the roof, protect the heat. Protection. That's what it's all about, guys. Homes that are well-maintained don't just survive the winter. They hold value better when it's time to sell, and they certainly do a lot better on those inspection reports. So that's it for today, guys. That's it for episode 53 of the Realty Rundown. If you have questions about your home, what to do for winter prep, who to call to help, the Nic Wyse team is, guys. That's what I'm here for. Give me a call, give me an email, shoot me a text. Whatever's best for you is best for me. Until next time, remember, Nic knows. Get your wise replies. We'll see you soon.
And that's a wrap on another episode. Thanks for tuning in. We hope you had as much fun as we did. We love sharing real estate insights, but as you can see, we also love to have a good time. This energy and passion is what we bring to every client. Buying or selling a home is a huge deal, but it doesn't have to be stressful. With the right team, it can even be fun. Ready to make your move? Let's connect.